All right. So let's see what we did yesterday. Okay. So it might be a quick recap would help you guys brush up. uh, Let me. Okay. Let me mute everyone. All right. Okay, fine. So, yesterday, I mean, to give a quick overview, like we are getting into the getting things on the data warehouse. We were talking about building data warehouse, what are the components of the data warehouse, and then thinking all this data marts, the databases, and all this. We are talking about that. And then yesterday we were talking about the OLAP and the OLTP system, which is nothing but the transaction processing and the analytical processing, which we did. For easy updates and all those, and we were doing OLTP. From the OLTP, we were consuming the data into our data warehouse, and then we were building our fact tables and the corresponding dimension tables. And for the dimension tables, I was talking to you guys about, telling you about the ways of having the columns denoted, and then the keys and all those stuffs we were talking about it. And then we talked about how the model in a data warehouse would look like a star schema and the snowflake schema. So a star schema is a normalized schema, and then a snowflake would be a normalized star. So ideally speaking, a normalized star would as nothing but having the tables in the star schema getting normalized, becoming a snowflake schema. And then we were talking about having the slowly changing dimensions, where we talked about the type 1, type 2, and type 3. So type 1 is nothing but it doesn't preserve any history, but whereas in type 2 we'll have the history of all the changes which we have on a particular row or a record. And for type 3, we should the option the capability is to have a single history, so that we can maintain, so that we have a single history maintained for that particular record. Okay, so these are the things which we had till this point in time. And then today we will talk about one of the component of our data warehouse, which is our database. Okay, so we are going to talk more about the database and its own structures. Okay, so the traditional in a data warehouse, all this which we are going to handle is nothing but the RDBMS system. Okay, so here all that we are dealing here is relational database management system. Okay, in a in a data warehouse, it is going to be relational database. Okay, so when I say relation database, it is nothing but when see the name says relation. Okay, so that should be a relation between your attributes, right? So all these are related to each other, and how are we going to save this data in a relational database? Okay, so a relation could be like what to say, it can be established in terms of what I would say a name is Raju, age 32. So there is a relation here. Name is Raju, age is 32. So in order to, this is kind of a relation which we have. In order to easily represent these relations in terms of in the database, so what we have here is tables. That makes it more easier to easily understand the relations. Okay, so when I say tables, it is going to be row and columns. Okay, right, so it's going to be a row column format in our relational databases. So I'm going to show all the relations here. How am I representing this in my database? I am going to represent this in my database in terms of tables. So all my relational database is established in terms of tables, so wherein I get all my relations. Okay, so under that you have row and column. Okay, what does a column represent here? This represents an attribute. Okay, say for example you have customer is a table. Okay, just you we let's understand this way. We are going to save all the details of the customer in my warehouse. Okay, so I am going to have them as a table. How am I going to save them? So all the attributes of this particular customer will be denoted as column. When I say attribute, name, age, sex, location, phone number, all these are the attributes of a customer, so they represent the columns. So you should understand all the attributes are the columns, right? Number one, what are rows? Okay, every instance of uh, the data would be a row. So for example, an instance is nothing but instance of the record, or instance or record would be a row, or value could be the row. Raju so and so is one of the row. Ram so and so is a record. So these correspond to rows. So ideally speaking, instance of the value, or that could be represent that's the row here. So ideally in our relational database, we are going to make sure all these are represented in terms of tables, and these tables are in terms of rows and columns. So this could easily help you to understand what row and column corresponds to them, and just an high level overview is what I'm taking. So I mean, you guys would be very much aware of this. So I'm just saying that row columns corresponds to the attributes, and instance of each of these values corresponds to the rows. Okay, all right. So let's take one simple example. Let's say you have an so let's try to, I mean, I'll just, before getting into the database, I'll just give you some overview of few components of the database, so that it become, so that it you guys will get to know easier. Okay, so a database. Okay, a database is nothing but a storage, correct? What I'm going to do, I'm going to store some information somewhere. So for example, I'm going to save all the information pertaining to the customer in my database. Oh, that's what I'm saying. How am I going to save? I'm going to save in terms of tables. Okay, so if at all, just an example, what if at all this particular customer is saved as a text file or a notepad file for you, I mean, or a Excel file. Okay, what will be there? There will be a physical file which gets created. If you guys know, there will be physical file called something .xls which will get created with some storage space. Okay, say some 1 KB will get stored on your hard disk. This is how, if at all you're going to save this data in your text pad or notepad, would look like. Similarly, my database is also kind of files in the backend. Okay, I am also going to have few physical files, which I would say they are the storage files or the physical files which are getting created. Okay, so ideally speaking, a table is also represented, I mean, on the back end, at the end of the day, it is going to get occupied on a disk as a file for you. Okay, so this is how a database, with a database will have its file and its storage. Okay, so all that I'm going to do is I am going to access these files with some application and get my data retrieved. Okay, for example, if you open the Excel spreadsheet, what will you do? You physically open the Excel spreadsheet from your computer, and then you understand the data on the screen. But to here, I am going to save this in some storage file. Either it could be a binary file or some sort of physical file. In order to access this particular data, I need an application with which I am going to access this data and get them shown on my screen, correct? For example, I have a customer table. Okay, so customer Raju so and so did it, just an example. Okay, so you have this data, and then you are saving this into a database, just an example. Okay, you say that I have saved this into a database. We will talk about how to insert these records into the database. That is what we are going to see. Just for the high level, you can understand that I have put this data into my database. Okay, so ideally speaking, it is saved somewhere in a file as one value there. Okay, so in order to access this particular file, and in order to access this particular, we need some database process, correct? Because a database process will make sure, you will make sure to understand what data you are requesting for. Okay, you are saying that, hey, get me all the details of the customer called Raju. You are giving an information to the database, like bring all the information with respect to Raju to me. So it runs a database process on the backend, it accesses this file, and then it gets back you the data. So this is what is going to happen for a database. All that I'm going to do here is I'm going to save them as as a physical file on my hard disk somewhere, accessing that particular file by means of a process. This is what is a database process which is going to happen. The internal working is totally different, but ideally this is what we are going to do from a database standpoint. Okay, any questions till this point? Shall I move forward?
Yes, you proceed.
All right. All right. So now let's talk about a few things. Okay. Let's talk about now that we know that database is a storage where we have all our data saved. Okay. To in order to easily understand, okay, or the users who's going to access this particular database, or all right, let's see about that. Okay. So let's see something about something called schemas. Okay. All right. So this is physical. So as I was telling, so physical. Okay, so when I say physical, it's a real file storage. Okay, so here we have something called schemas, which is logical. Okay, okay, let's before talking about, before telling I'm logical, I'll tell you what we are going to. Okay, so imagine you have a database. Okay, when I say database, it's going to be a sort of file which is saved somewhere, and then you have many users who's going to access this database or use this particular storage. Okay, they are going, we have some 1 TB storage perspective, and then we have some 5 applications. When I say 5 applications, let's say 5 projects, just a simple example. Okay, we have 5 projects running who's given the notion like, you guys can use this database for your access. Okay, let me if this could be easy for you guys, if I can tell you, right? Uh, like what we have now, so we have a single database on a cloud instance on which we are all going to use the database, correct? So here all users should have a logical separation, or you will have a user created. For example, Raju will have a user. Raju, okay, let me more, I mean, to be more easier to understand. Okay, so let's say you have schemas like, let's me not put it this way. Okay, so you have some data with respect to only HR, some data with respect to sales, data with respect to finance. Okay, these are few projects: sales project, finance project, and HR project, or these are the their corresponding what to say, subject matters which they have in the project. Okay, so in order to easily use this particular database, what they will do here is they will create a user for each of these people. Okay, so they'll say, HR, please use the schema, or please use this user to get your data accessed. So a logical separation of data within this database is called a schema. Schema ideally corresponds to user, very simple. Okay, for HR, I'll create a user. For him, there will be a separate place where he can create all his tables. You will see once you get into this Hansan part, so it will be easier for sales. I'll create a user called sales user. He can create the corresponding tables here. So if I need to access the HR related tables, you can just say user dot the table name. If at all you need to access this HR table name, I'm going to access a table which is sitting on the HR user. So HR dot or HR schema dot table name. So ideally, a logical separation of this particular database to users is called a schema. Okay, a physical way, storage files, control files, there are many items like that in with respect to the physical files. when it comes to logical, all these schemas are the logical part. Okay, so these are physical, I mean these are not physically separated, but we are logically grouping the tables into specific groups. That's what they call it as schemas. Okay, so ideally you should understand database storage files and schema. This schema is more important. Okay, every time when you're going to log in into a particular database, if at all you guys are working on an rdbms database, they will tell you the schema which you had to log in. Okay, they will give you a schema. This is the schema, or this is the user which you had to use to log into this particular database. They will very well tell you that this is how you have to log in. Okay, so this is a logical grouping way, similar to what we have, I mean as opposed to what we have in the physical files. Okay, so let's and coming drilling down more within this logical schemas, we are going to have something called tables. Okay, within the logical grouping of the schema, we are going to have build our tables here. So all the for example, within HR schema, we are going to have our tables created. Okay, how am I going to create the tables? Oh, like, there was a question from someone. Each column, I mean, there's a question from Janavis asking, each column is in a, are a different. No, it's not. Each column is not in a different data schema. Here, HR is a HR is not a table here. HR is a subject area. All the tables, say for example, uh, if at all HR is maintaining all the employees on the particular company as okay, if he wants to maintain all the salary details in a table, so all the tables within the HR concept will be again will be within HR schema. For example, if a sales, okay, transaction fact, or monthly transaction fact or something like that, monthly data, all these tables will be within the sales schema. So if at all you need to understand only the sales perspective, so you can just say sales dot table name, that's it. So it's not about column level, it's only about the table level. Okay, all these tables pertaining to the sales will be grouped under sales schema. Okay, that's how it is going to be grouped. Now let me get into the tables within the HR schema. Okay, so for example, you have like employee as one table. Okay, just an example. Okay, so employee is a table in our HR schema, or let's forget about the schemas now. Okay, let's say only we have a single schema, and then we are going to have a table created. Okay, let's forget about the schemas. Okay, let's you just on a high level understand it's a logical grouping, that is more than enough. Okay, so now let's get into a table specific information which is called employee. Okay, now uh, now this is I mean what okay, so all that we are going to represent this is in terms of rows and columns. As I initially told, it's going to be represented in terms of rows and columns. Okay, so all that we are going to do here is we are going to create a few tables and then save them in this particular schema. Okay, so there is, how do you create tables next? In order to access these database related information or database or in order to access this database or this storage files, all this, they have come up with a language called SQL, which is nothing but structured query language. They call it as structured query language, which is nothing but SQL. Okay, so using this SQL, they created a structured query language, or what to say, like C, Python, and Java. They have come up with a language called SQL, and they say using this SQL, you can access all the information on your database tables. Okay, if at all you had to push some data into your database, use your SQLs. If at all you had to pull some data from your database, you can use your SQL. If at all you had to modify them data in your SQL in your database, very well you can use SQLs. All this is concept, all this is materialized by means of writing SQLs. Okay, so ideally accessing a database, anything can be done with your SQLs. So our main understanding, our main motto is to understand the sequels today. Okay, so that's what we are going heading towards. Okay. Um, all right, as we have got Oracle as our database here, so we are going to learn SQLs which corresponds to Oracle. Okay, so there are multiple RDBM system like Netezza, MySQL. There are quite a lot of things like this, but now our area of interest is today is on Oracle. Okay, so like let's try to understand. Okay, let's go step by step. Okay, so okay, before getting into table, I'll give. I forgot few informations to give. Okay, so a table will have, as I was telling, it is going to have rows and columns. Okay, so you will have to specify. Okay, before for example, you have customer table. When you are creating or when you are designing a schema or when you are designing a design model for a table. Okay, you are coming up a model or you are designing the columns which you just to come on a customer table. Okay, you're working with a few architects on your company, and then you are deriving a table structure for customer. You are coming up with an idea saying that, hey, I need all the so and so attributes, a1, a2, a3, or these are the attributes which I should have on my customer table. So you are coming up with the a structure. Okay, so you're saying a customer table should have customer ID, customer key, name, location, age, all this information saved. You are coming up into a agreement, and then you will have to decide on which columns what would be the data type which is it going to hold. Okay, when it's okay, let's okay, so when you say data type, what is the data in it is going to hold. Okay, let me just put in a new slide so that it becomes easier for you guys. I'll just put that okay, so this is one important topic which I should cover, so I forgot it. Okay, so we will talk about the data types in a table. Okay, okay, before I move on, I'll take a pass here. Till this point, any questions from anyone?
Yeah, John, if you can give us some more clarity on the schema side, will be clear. So kind of the high level understanding is that database is nothing but a storage, kind of a big box. We'll be putting all the data there, and we will be organize the data in rows and columns, that is table. And schema, you're connected that when many users are working on the database simultaneously, you will be providing a kind of a logical uh, space to each user. It's
Uh-huh.
not very clear till that
Okay,
is kind of an understanding.
okay, so it is not about people who are connecting simultaneously to the to the database. Okay, it is not that John, me, Partha, everyone is getting connected to a database, they will not be given schema, nothing like that. Okay, so on this particular database, what are all the applications which are hosted? Okay, when I say application hosted, it could be hr's information will be available. Okay, similarly sales corresponding data will be available, finance corresponding data is going to be available. So what they will do here is they will for this subject they will create schemas. Okay, or well, let me put it this way. So uh, what I would say here is, say you have a business running, correct? Okay, so for each of this business, they will create a schema. Very simple to me, more easier. For this business, you are given a HR schema. For sales business, they will be given a sales schema. So all your tables for HR should go within this. All your sales tables should go within this. That's how I'm trying to say. It's not about the users who are going to access the data. It's all about the entire business for which I'm going to create a logical grouping.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so all right, so now that let me talk quickly a brief about data types. Okay, so you understood that we have columns here, and then okay, so I was telling you that we designed a table that so and so is to be saved. Okay, so when I'm designing this table, I should tell that a1 attribute, which is nothing but, for example, customer name, will be in terms of alphanumeric characters. Alphanumeric in the sense it can have both what to say, it can have both characters as well as string. Just for an example, okay, it can have both characters and strings. I'm sorry, numbers. or okay, let's have them as alphabetic. Okay, just to make things easier. Okay, so we'll have, okay, so it's going to be alphabetic characters which I'm going to save in my customer name table. Okay, so all this is going to be in terms of characters which is getting saved. So Oracle has its own data types. When I say data types, if at all you are going to say some numeric items, they have a data type called number. When you say number, you can save all these numbers with precision and decimal are getting saved. Okay, if at all you're going to save characters, you have many data types like character. I mean, if at all you guys have worked on any programming knowledge, programming languages or anything like that, you would have known about data types, like what is a data type for this particular. So you have something called variable character in in Oracle. Okay, so there's something called varchar2. There are many types of data types. Maybe I'll just go over each of this. Okay, so if at all you have to save characters, you can use varchar2 or character. Okay, so if at all you need to see, you need to store only numbers, you can use a number data type. If at all you are going to say some decimal data like decimal data, like you are going to save some sorry, you're going to save something like some 1.50. Okay, so you can save 3 comma 2, which means that the entire length of this particular decimal is 3. Out of this, precision is 2, scale is 2, which means that 2 decimals I'm going to save. Okay, precision comma scale. So there are quite a lot of data types. Might be once we get into the table structure, you will know, like one on the hands-on part. So I will explain each of this data types as well, so that because I have a table which caters all this expectations, so we can do that. So we will have to come up with the data types for each of this column. We will, when we are going to design the table, and then we should also decide on the maximum characters which that particular column has hold. Okay, now customer name cannot hold some like 5,000 characters. Okay, it should have some data limitations, like it can hold some 500 characters, because let's say the name of this particular customer is very huge, 500 characters or something like that. Okay, just so you will have to come up with the decision of what is the maximum value which it can getting saved. Okay, so it's nothing but varchar2 of some 500, which means that I can save 500 characters on this column. So when we are coming up with the table, we should be able to come up with the first we are going to come up with the data type of the column, and the maximum value which it can save, and its data type and its own sizing of the column. So these has to be taken in care. Okay, before we come up, before we create a table, this has to be taken care. So in typical projects, in typical warehouse projects where we work, so what we do here is we create some logical modeling. Okay, so which means that, hey, this is how the tables would look like on this particular data warehouse, and then we do physical modeling where we come up with this concept like data type, sizing, everything will be done, and then we create the tables. Okay, so ideally, if at all you guys are working on any such scenarios, you guys should take this as one of the best practice. Okay, and then let me just move on with a table creation command. Okay, let's get into the SQL part. Okay, okay, all right. So SQL, all right, my, okay, so I was talking to you guys about on the SQL. Okay, so all right, so what are the types of SQL? I mean, what are the SQLs we have? So broadly, they have classified this into to easy for the ease of understanding. They have made this into this particular SQL language into 3 different categories. Okay, they call it as data definition language. Okay, they call it as DDL. They brought, I mean, the SQL categories are into data definition language, which is called DDL, data manipulation language. Okay, they call it as DML, control language. DCL. Okay, okay. Okay, okay, so they broadly classified this into DDL, DML, and DCL. Okay, so let's try to understand each of this item. Okay, let's go ahead into DDL. As the name says, data definition. Okay, when I say definition, it means that it is defining the table. Okay, so when you are going to create a table, or when you're going to define a structure of the table, they call it as DDL. Okay, so these are, I mean, I'll go with the commands which they are categorized under DDL. Okay, so once I tell you the command, it becomes easy for you. Create a table. Creating a table is a DDL, which means that you are defining a, a structure for that particular table, correct? So this is, so as you see, defining the table structure is a DDL, which is nothing but create. Alter the table structure. So whatever you do on the table structure directly. Okay, so for example, you're not gone into the data at all. Like for example, you're not inserting data, you're not manipulating data. We are just working on the structure of the table. We are just if at all you are modifying the structure of the table, all this all the structure, all these things will get into the DDL part. Okay, create a table, alter a table. Okay, if at all you need to add a new column to the table. Okay, alter the table. That is a DTL command. Rename a table. If you say I don't want this table name, say DW customer, I instead I want it as DW underscore customer. Yeah, that is a DDL command. I don't want this table at all. Drop this table. That's a DDL command. So all the functionalities which define a table directly, because this functionalities is going to affect the table structure directly. It is not going to affect the data only, it is going to affect the entire table structure. You guys are getting what I'm trying to say? Hello.
Yes, Raju, you can go ahead.
Yep. You guys,
Hello.
I mean,
Yeah.
yep. Yeah, go ahead. I'm able to hear you, Bala. Guys, are you able to follow me what I'm trying to say, or it's too vague for you guys to catch?
Yes, Raju, you can go ahead.
All right. So all that I'm trying to tell you here is like
Hello,
the.
Raju, actually getting background noise.
Is it
It's
from me?
not clear.
You're still hearing it?
Hearing, but heavy background noise. I mean disturbances, background disturbances.
Is it okay? Let me mute everyone. Is it fine for you now, or still? To everyone, are you guys still hearing noise, or is it
No, Raju, no
all right?
background noise to me.
We are good, Raju. No problem.
It's good.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Fine. So what I was trying to say was we if at all we are going to alter the table structure, so we are just modifying the structure of the table directly, they get into the DDL part. So these four commands are the DDL commands, which we will see. Okay, create, alter, rename, drop. Okay, now let me get into the DML part. Okay, so DML part is nothing but data manipulation language. Okay, as it the name says, you are going to manipulate some data. Okay, so when I say manipulate the data, you are going to do some data manipulation. Okay, it's not about table manipulation, it's all about data manipulation. Okay, what data manipulation you can do? Either you can insert the data, correct? You can select the data, you can update the data, you can delete the data. These four are the data manipulation commands, right? All this DML commands will not affect the table structure anyway. It will not go to the table structure. It will just sit within the table's data. We are not going to alter anything with respect to the table structure. If I'm just saying select something from the table name, it is not going to add a new column, nothing like that. Only the DDL commands will be working on the table structure, whereas the DML commands are just going to work within the data. Say insert into some table, which means that it inserts some record into the table. If I say select, which means that I can select the records from the table. If I need to update a record, or if I need to update a value, say for example, I need to update a customer location to from Chennai to Madurai, I just say update the table. I will go out the syntax, update the table, and then set the particular record so and so where this. I mean, that's how we will do. If at all I don't want to delete, I mean, if at all I don't want to don't want this record on the table, I can just say delete the record from the table name. So DML commands are going to alter only the data part. We are not going to alter the table structure. Okay, all right, fine. Next comes the DCL command. Okay, how am I going to control this data? Right, so I'm going to, okay, let's, all right, okay. Okay, DCL. Okay, so there are, okay, so when I say control the data, so I need to tell you that, okay, he should be able to access this data. For example, you are a user of HR. Okay, you are a HR who is working on a company, who is given access to few tables, like to your specific details, like employees, you are given access. HR does not need access to the sales table about the company sales and all those stuffs. He doesn't necessarily need that access at all. Only the sales analyst and the CFO would need access to the sales table. In order to make sure I control the access to the particular tables, there are a couple of uh, commands, or there is a language syntaxes which controls the access to the tables. They call it as grant and revoke. Okay, so if you would want an access to be granted for a particular user, say select, I'm sorry, grant select on. Okay, he is given a select permission on HR dot employee, or let's me put it, or sales dot fact table for HR, which means that HR is now granted access to the fact table in the sales schema, which means that he can now access the tables. He is now given access. So in order to prevent, or in order to preserve the data access or security on a tables, they have a language called the grant and revoke commands. So in general, they make sure whenever you're going to create a table, or you're going to create a DDL command or create a table, they make sure all these grants are correctly given, so that we do not have any problem with the data being accessed by some third party people. So they will make sure that is taken care. Okay, so these are the different types of language which we are going to have, and then we can specifically now get into to understand each of this particular tables syntax. Okay, so let's try to understand about the syntax of each of this commands. Okay, and then we will get into So might be before to understand the syntax, might be I can just open this SQL developer so that it becomes easy for us to go there and get them created. Okay, so okay, so let me share let me tell you how do you create a table, how do you insert a record in a table, and then we will see all those steps. Okay, so for just for easy understanding, so what I'm gonna create is I'm gonna create an employee table for you guys. Okay, to all those people who have, I mean, what is the percentage of uh, team who have got this cloud installation and who have got their SQL developer and the Oracle database installed on your machines? So, or many are working with the cloud instance, or can you quickly to might be who have got the database installed? Can you just raise your hand? Might be so that I can easily get to know.
You mean on the local machine, Raju?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. If everyone has their local installation, then it becomes easy to all those people who have got the cloud installation. Might be to because this cloud instance is just very fresh. We do not have any tables there. Okay, all that is we need to create a table, and then we will have to insert some data so that it becomes easy for us to query and see. Because for those people who have already have their installation, they will have the tables created, they will have some data so that it becomes easy for us. Okay, okay, so might be what I will do, I'll just okay, I see quite a few people have got them installed. Okay, no problem, thank you. Okay, cool. Okay, fine. All right, then fine. Okay, so let me get into what to say. I'll create a few commands, or what to say. I'll just explain you those commands in the SQL developer what I have on the local instance, so that we can be what to say. It becomes easy for everyone to understand rather than showing in the slide. It would be good if I can show you them in the SQL developer directly where we okay. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a table. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm
Uh,
going to create.
Raju, Trinad here.
Yeah,
On local, when we after installation local, there are preloaded tables are already there, or
yeah, it is it okay. So once you connect to okay, let me tell you how did I connect. Okay, so what did I do was I connect. So every time when you do an installation of your Oracle database, okay. So what we are going to do here is we are going to have them on. Okay, when we are going to connect, this is how your screen would look like. Okay, once you do the installation of your database.
no, we already installed. Just I'm asking,
Yeah, that's right.
already preloaded
Yeah, yeah,
tables like Oracle tables or anything is already available
yeah,
with the
yeah.
installation.
That's there, Trinad. We have,
Okay.
we do have.
Is there
Okay.
any select
Uh,
command to see the tables already preloaded tables like the select the star from
yeah, Trinad, that's there. Okay.
sysabm
Yeah,
systables like systables?
yep. So that's what we are going to see. No worries. We have all this preloaded also there. We are going to create some tables. We can
Okay.
see all those. Okay, that's great. Okay, all right. Uh, okay, you guys want me to maximize the font? Okay, how do I do this here? Okay, let's see if I have any option. I am not a SQL developer user. I am a SQL plus user.
You can go to tools
Use magnifier
preferences.
maybe.
Raju, you can
Use
go to
magnifier
tools
from the application.
Okay, tools.
preferences.
Okay, great. Okay.
Or display images.
Okay. Okay, is it good? Is it fine for now? Thank you. Tools, preferences, code editor is what I did. I mean, are you guys fine with this particular font? Is it fine now at least? Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so where were I? So okay, so I was telling you guys about creating connections, right? So for example, if at all, so all that, okay, let me give you a quick background. So now what we have here is we have our database available. So which means that I did some installation on my local for you or local for me, so that I have a database created. Okay, so now in order to access this database, I should have some client. Okay, so it's going to be a client server architecture. Okay, so some client accessing the data from the database. Okay, so in order to access these client, in order to access this data, so what I'm going to have, I need a client here. Okay, this client can be anything. It could be SQL plus. Okay, which comes with the installation. Or you can have SQL developer or Toad or SQL Workbench, or there are lots and lots of SQL clients with which you can connect to. Now I'm trying to connect through a SQL developer. Okay, so when I open SQL developer as a client who connects to the Oracle database. Okay, so I would need to specify where my Oracle database is residing. Okay, so here it is residing on my local computer. That's why I said it is localhost. Okay, if at all you are working on a company and then you are given a chance to connect to your Oracle database, you should know the database host, or where the particular database installed. It could be like abc.xyz.com or something like that, and then they will give you the IP address or a name or a VIP to connect to this particular host. Okay, that is how they will give, and you should specify the corresponding port number which is open for you. In general, as in default, it comes with a 1521, or it could be 2115, or it depends on the database or the DBS to specify which particular port with you are going to connect to that particular database. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. And then the service name. Okay, service name or SID, they call system ID, or the service name. Okay, they will give you that this is the service, or this is the service which is dedicated for this particular database. Okay, they will give you the instance with which you need to connect through. Okay, so either it could they'll in generally this will be preferred, they'll be given to you by the DBAs or from your project management, so they will give you all this information. Okay, so this is the instance where your database is running. Okay, and then this is the way we generally connect to. Okay, is there any other? No, I mean, I'm working on multiple databases. Is this the only way I can do? No, there are many other ways also. Okay, in general, they have something called TNS file. Okay, okay, so they call something called TNS. This TNS would have, I mean, this TNS file, where I okay, let me put it here. Okay, so you have a client with you're going to connect to, from you have something called tns names.ora. Okay, this file comes with the installation, and then this will have all the databases and their corresponding information. Okay, so you will have, for example, if I need to connect to HR, okay, so they will say HR is sitting on this particular, there is a specific syntax with which that this is sitting on this database, and this is the instance what you have to try. Okay, and similarly for sales or some other thing, this is how it is, where this is the database which is sitting, and all this information, okay, will be available. All that you need is just load your TNS file, and then you can just specify this is the, see here. So I'll open that for you. Okay, so might be so you can just specifically choose particular connection like this, and then you can automatically get it connected. For now, let me go with basic way. I'll show you the TNS file also. Okay, so now I'm getting connected. I'm just saying a test. So it is getting connected. Okay, so now I'm going to get them connected. Now what is happening, if I can access all the tables on my local machine, but I do not have any table created, so I am not able not seeing any what to say, I'm not seeing any tables in my on the left. Okay, or else if you have any table created, yeah, very well, you can see that on the tables listed here. Okay, so now let's try to create a table in this particular local database on my local host machine. Okay, are you guys able to follow me?
Raju, actually, on small suggestion, the font size is okay, but the icons in that left
It's not.
side, right? It's very, yeah, it's very small.
No
Actually, you
worries.
you you
Yeah.
open one pop-up, right? So everything is very small, so we are unable to see what
Okay.
is the field names. So it will be helpful if you zoom the screen.
Okay. What I'll do.
Raju, I guess that is due to the resolution settings from the host machine.
Yeah, that's right. It is set. I
Yeah,
mean, I am using a 28-inch monitor. That's the reason. Might be
yeah,
you
that
guys
is
are
the
very.
reason. Either you need to decrease the resolution we need to proceed in this way.
Trying
Raju,
to see.
am I audible?
Yeah. Go ahead, Jody.
Raju, can you please go to the welcome tab on SQL Developer? Just a try. It worked for me.
What was that? Okay.
Welcome page,
Uh-huh.
the first tab.
What was
And
welcome page?
yeah, can you please scroll down and if there is a checkbox at the left bottom corner of the screen, further
I
down.
couldn't get you.
Can you please scroll down further?
Okay.
Further down, please.
Oh, that's saying. Might be I'll just reduce my resolution so that it becomes easy for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
That can quickly solve your problem. So fine. Is it good now? Or it is
It
fine?
is better, Raju. It is
Yeah,
better.
it's better. It's good, Raju. Thanks.
All right, no problem. Okay, it's going. Okay, so fine. So what I was trying to say was, see the properties. Okay, so you can see that this is the these are the properties which I was explaining, the connection type, all those things. Okay, all right. So let's get into the local, and then we'll try to create a table. Okay, so we have a specific syntax what you need to do. Okay, we are trying to create a table. Okay, so create table is my command. Create table. What table I'm going to create? I'm going to create a table called employee. Okay, so what okay, let's say customer. That's the only thing which we are very interested in. Okay, so let's say customer. Okay, so what columns I'm going to have? So customer name, so customer underscore name, just an example. Okay, so this particular customer name is going to have all a numeric. Okay, so either it can be a character data type like character of 30. Okay, just an example. Okay, or it could be varchar. Okay, let me tell you easy understanding difference between char, varchar and varchar2. Okay, so Oracle says if you're going to use character of 30, we are going to use the entire 30 character byte or 30 bytes I'm going to use for this particular, even if okay yeah, I'm going to use 30 bytes, I'm going to reserve 30 bytes for this particular column. Okay, for example, your customer name has got only 3 characters. Okay, you have only 3 characters, but instead you're giving 30 bytes to it, which means that this particular space is entirely occupied for 30 bytes. Instead of 3 bytes, we are occupying 30 bytes in varchar and varchar. This is the concept. Okay, how does this occupy the 30 bytes? Which means that it pads it, it will do is it will do a padding, or it will occupy a space padding or kind of padding in such a way that instead of 3 bytes it occupies the 30 bytes entirely. So in general, if you are using char or varchar data type, which means that the space is not efficiently used. But they came up with something called varchar2. If I say varchar2 of 30, which means that if my table, if my column has got only 3 characters, only 3 bytes would be used. Rest will be not used, which means that it is going to save a lot of space for you. So in general, we prefer to have varchar2. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use varchar2 as my data type here as customer name. Okay, next customer ID. Okay, customer ID is going to be a numeric data type for me, so I'm using number. Okay, next location Chennai or something like that. Again, a varchar 2 50. Okay, just for the sake of easy understanding, name, customer ID, location. So let me put this way. Okay, so customer and it's okay. For example, salary also. Salary number. Okay, is getting some commission. Okay, so commission. Okay, so it is going to be a decimal. So to easy for understanding all the data types, I'm going to say he's going to have a decimal data type of 2 is the entire number of, okay, let's say 2. Out of this 2 should be the entire length of the column. So he see decimal of precision comma scale. This is how the syntax would look like. Okay, here precision corresponds to the entire length of the data, or when I say length, like 0.4, if I say 0.4 or 1.4, total length is 2. Out of that you can have two decimals. Scale is 2 decimals, so like 0.4 or something like. Let me just take 2,1. Okay, so now we have a table syntax created. All that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a table called customer with some let me create this. Okay, so I'm gonna run this. So it says table customer created. Okay, so these are DDL commands, correct? When I talked about, because we are going to alter the table structure, so we are going to say them as see these are DDL commands. Okay, so as you see here, a table called customer got created for me. Okay, now let's see. Let's put some data into the customer. Insert into table name. Okay, this is the syntax. Values. Okay, these are the values which I am going to insert. Okay, okay, so this is the syntax for an insert. What is an insert command? It's a DML command. Okay, let's see, someone has pinged me. Okay, so number, it's not okay. You can specify to answer Manivanan's question. Yeah, you can specify that. Yeah, you can specify the number columns. What to say? The data, the length of that column as well. You can do that as well. Yep, that's right. So now I left this as it is to use the default. I think it will use till 40 carat, 40 digit can be saved within the number data type of Oracle. You can use 40 carat digits. Okay, so create insert into the table name values. Okay, so all right, so what are the values which I'm going to insert? So I'm going to insert customer name, so Raju. So Raju is a varchar type, so it has to be enclosed within a quotes. Okay, so customer ID, I'm giving him 1. The location where he is coming from is Chennai. Okay, the salary which he is getting is 1,200, and commission is 0.1%. Okay, record gets inserted. Okay, in the create query, that's a question from Arun. In the create query, why the location is okay? Location is in a color similar database. Oh, might be it could, it is might be it's a reserved keyword, so that it could be highlighted in this number name. Might be that's the reason. Yeah, that's right. Say for example, there are few reserved value reserved what I say names in the Oracle database. Might be that is the reason you see them in a different color. That's okay. If at all you are using some keywords in Oracle in any of your tables, okay, in general it will say that this is a reserved keyword. This, for example, if I'm going to create a table like order or something like that, it will not allow me saying that it is a reserved keyword. So invalid table name. Okay, so it will not allow me. So we should make sure that we are using something like that, something not with the prescribed way. Okay, so now what I did was I inserted a data into the table. Okay, so Oracle is very beautiful here. Okay, so what it does here is every time you do some inserts into the table, okay, it will not write directly into the database. When I say write into the database, it will not directly write into the file. Okay, instead what it does is it keeps in the memory. Okay, it will have a storage space in the memory saying that he is inserting some data into the table, let me have them on my memory. Okay, somewhere in the process it keeps them the data. Only when I do some process, something called commit. When I say commit, it runs this particular data, or this particular data which I inserted is now sent to the database file. Only when I do a commit, it is sent to the file. Okay, so which means that if I just say a commit command here, it will say commit complete, which means that I am I can able to query the table, which means that for example, let's think this way. I am inserting some data into the customer table. Okay, on the same note, John is querying the table from customer. Okay, okay, let me first explain select command, and then I'll tell you about me and John querying together and the usage of commit, so that it becomes easy. Okay, so now that I did an insert into the table, so now we have one record in the table. Okay, so in order to select the table, or in order to access this table, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to imply a select command. So first was a DDL command which I did, and then I did an insert command which is manipulating the data, which is a DML command. Now I am going to again do a DML command. I'm going to select the data. Okay, so as I told you guys, it is nothing but a table structure, so it has to come in row column format. Okay, so select star from customer will display the data in a table format in rows and columns. Okay, so tables, so each of these attributes specify the columns, and one instance of that will be shown as a particular record. So I see Raju 1 Chennai 1200 and point 1 as a commission which is being told from the customer table. So what is happening? So I'm able to retrieve the data. Okay, so now that we saw create, insert, and select. Okay, let me talk about a few things about the commit as well, so that for example, I am inserting one more record into the table. So for example, ram 12 and okay, so I am inserting a table, a record into the table. Okay, when I just say select star from customer, I am seeing these two records on my screen. I will be able to see. Okay, on this particular SQL developer instance which I am getting connected, I will be able to see the record. Okay, now if John is querying the same table, he will not see this record. He will just see only Raju Chennai 1200, because I have did a commit so that the record Raju Chennai has been sent to the DB file. But after I inserted this RAM, I didn't do a commit. So what happened? It is still on my memory. Okay, so now if I open another instance and I can see that, you will not see this record. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to say commit, which means that now the record gets committed to the file. John will be also able to see the query, see the data. But when I'm trying to when I just noticed that, hey, I inserted something wrong. Before I committed the data to the database, I thought I have inserted some wrong value. Instead of 7800, I have put 4500. Okay, so what can I do? I can just say rollback, which means that, hey, revert me or undo the data what I did. Okay, so when I just say rollback, it will just say, it will not, it will remove the record from me. Hey, sure, I'll do that then for you. Yeah. So what did I do? When I did a commit, it gets committed to the database. When I did a rollback, which means that, hey, don't commit this particular record into the database file. Instead, remove that record. So what happened? When I'm going to do that, the RAM record went off. Now, if I insert again and then do a commit, if I do this, you'll be able to see file. Okay, so this is the concept of commit and rollback. Oracle gives you lots and lots of
What
easy.
happens if I execute the rollback command twice? Will it roll back the last two commits that I have made?
No, it will not do that.
Okay.
It'll be allowed to be more easy. So you let's put it this way. Okay, so for example, insert into table name commit. Okay, again I'm doing insert into table name. Okay, um, um, just something like this. Okay, okay, and then I'll say commit. Okay, and then so what happens is okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna insert some records. Okay, so let's say, okay, so let's say insert into this table. I'm doing a commit, insert into the table, commit. Okay, let's now query the table. Okay, Ram Tanu. Okay, so now what is going to happen, I'm going to insert this table and then I'm saying a rollback. Okay, still I would see only those 3 records. John is not available here, which means that until the last commit he will be able to do a rollback. You getting it?
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. So Suresh, to answer your question, rollback is applicable only when the data is in memory. That's right. So in order to answer Maideen's question, so what okay, so wait, so let me go one by one. So Maideen has asked, could you please explain memory or to the DB file? Okay, it gets rather than memory, I would say it's called a redo log file. Okay, they call it as redo log file. Okay, so this is a file where it gets saved, where all the data will get returned into the memory. I mean, when I say memory, it is going to write into the log file where it preserves all this information. That's the place where it runs all this. Okay, so commit and rollback is applicable only for DML, or we can use for DDL also. Very good question. Okay, so commit is applicable only for the DML commands. Okay, all the DDL commands, okay, has its own auto commit. When I say auto commit, when you say create table, all right, it is created in the table, committed. That's it. You cannot do a rollback for a DDL command. Yep, that's right. Rollback is applicable is only I answered this question. Yep, that's right. So as you see here, when it is available for you to when it is this particular John's data was available in the redo log file, so when I did a rollback, it got rolled back. All these files which were got inserted went into the database directly, so it was not available for me to roll back. Okay, questions guys? Are you fine? You guys able to follow me? Are you finding it easy, or how do you see it? You guys finding it interesting, or
Raju, John.
go ahead, John.
Yeah, Raju, I tried to create the same table in the the local instance created in the laptop. So, but when I created that thing, I couldn't see, because if you look at your left-hand top panel, under the table filtered, there's a customer object created.
Yep. Okay.
But when I did this one, I also got I didn't get that this one to be displayed on that area. But after executing the command, I got the message that it is created, table created.
Okay. With which user you logged in into this local?
Not local. I think we have I think Basit's sheet shows that to create a connection using XC database connection.
Okay, you went into some other okay, let's put it this way. Okay, what was the username password which you did here?
1 second.
It is admin and admin.
Admin and admin #123. Yeah.
Can you try right clicking on the tables and select refresh once?
Okay, 1 second.
Okay, I did that. Yep. Because initially it also didn't come for me, so I did a refresh. Okay, so try once might be.
Yeah, got it. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. Okay. There are a couple of more questions. To answer Thirumavalan, can you write 100 insert queries and do final commit? Yep, that's the way we do. Okay, what generally from an application we do here is we make sure we do all this inserts and then we do commits at regular intervals. Okay, yeah, that's what we do. Can roll back without using commit? Yeah, we can do a rollback without commit. That's what we did. Auto commit can happen. Okay, in general what we did, if at all I'm using an application rather than SQL developer to all those to insert data into the database, generally what they will do is they will have a commit interval. Okay, they will set the commit interval saying that after 1000 records or 10,000 records you do a commit. So we do have that privilege to insert to keep on committing when we are going to write rather than doing at once. So in general, if at all you're running some batch job to insert data into the database. Okay, so think this way: you are inserting some 1 million records. Okay, all these 1 million records cannot be hold on your log file or the redo log file to have them saved, because so it is generally preferable to have batch commits. Okay, 1000 get inserted, get it committed, commit, something like that. That's how in general we do. All right. All right. So hope you guys are able to follow me, right? So right.
Raj, again, by default, when you do a rollback, it will roll back till to the last commit. Is it correct?
Yeah.
I think there is a concept of save point also, till if I want to roll back to a certain area.
Yeah, that's right. You can do that as well, but at least I mean for this at least this should be do this will do for you people. That's why I didn't get into those many points. Yeah.
Raju, you said like initially like uh, all the data that will be stored in a flat file, right, at the end.
Yeah, it's not.
Or
It's a
else,
redo log file. Yeah.
okay. So will that file will be created in your system right now, or how
It would be taken care. I mean, it is a memory process which when I'm running an Oracle database inside this architecture, that will be taken care. Oracle takes care of that.
Okay. So as a user, I can't go and see that file, right?
I am not sure if we can view the redo log file. I'm not sure if we can have access to that file, all those stuffs, but let me check and get back to you, Jacob. But in general, you will not be allowed to do that, is what my understanding is. But let me quickly check back. Yeah. To Trinath question, yeah. That okay. Let me I have not specifically went into this path to check the physical file, but it will be saved somewhere like custody or something. Might be I'll just check that and tell you, Trinath. I think this should be that. Let me check that and confirm you. But because I haven't seen specifically the physical file, because we aren't allowed to query all those. But let me check if it's possible for you to get that. Yep, I'll do that for you. All right. Okay. So now let's move on. So now that we have a table created, we are able to query some data. Let's try to do some modifications. Okay. So let's try to do some alter commands, or let's try to do some sort of uh, what to say, the other parts which we saw. So let's say you have what others we have. So create alter rename drop. Okay. So let me quickly go on each of these items. Okay. Rename table to table name. Let's first understand alter table. Okay.
Raju, before going, can you let me know difference between char and varchar?
Okay, this is
yeah.
Okay, so initially it was like char data type will have the characters saved. Okay, so now what they did was they came up with some variable characters. Because that's the difference here. It's nothing but it is going to give you fixed length of storage in char. Okay, and similarly in varchar also they are going. Varchar initially saves only the what to say, the corresponding where the name says it is variable character, okay, but it is going to save the entire space, okay. Ideally speaking, both char and varchar will be the same, but it is going to use the entire 30 bytes or whatever be. For example, even if you're not going to, if you're saving only one character, it is going to occupy the entire 30 bytes for you. But only when you go into something called varchar 2, which is the enhanced one, which will make sure you're not occupying the entire space, okay. What varchar does is it will pad the values with blanks, okay. So for example, if I say customer name is Raju, okay, it will do a blank padding for all this 26 characters, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, something like that till 26. It will do a blank padding, and then the last 4 characters will get saved. So that's the
Oh,
difference
எல்லாம்
between
தெரிஞ்ச கான்செப்ட் ஓடிட்டு இருக்கு. தூங்குற எல்லாமே தெரிஞ்சது டிசிஎல் எல்லாம் சொல்லி கொடுத்துட்டு இருக்காங்க. எனக்கு கண்ணு வர
Can you please
சொல்லிருச்சு லைட்
mute it,
ஸ்பீட்.
please? Can you please mute?
okay. So that's the difference, Rinath.
so both are occupying the same space.
Yeah,
30
that's
bytes
right.
means 30 bytes.
Yes, yes.
But in varchar, it will padded with value. Whatever the characters remaining space will be padded with blanks.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Ideally
varchar
speaking,
2 will
characters
have
fixed.
yeah.
Characters fixed string. I mean, characters fixed. For example, if you say 30 bytes is fixed. Okay. Similarly, varchar 2 will not get it fixed, but instead it will make sure you occupy only those space which is really needed, rather than occupying the entire 30 bytes. You just need only the what to say. It specifies only the 33 bytes or whatever be the
specified
case.
characters like Raju means 4 bytes.
Correct. And also one more thing which I forgot to say, like character will allow only the character things, like what to say, it's not going to give you alphanumeric. So varchar will allow numbers also into this customer name.
Okay.
That's one more difference. Yeah, that's right.
So varchar is alphanumeric.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. If you say Raju, varchar 2 Raju, it will occupy 4 bytes.
Yes.
Any length will be stored in that varchar 2. This varchar 2 has 4 bytes like that. Any information will be available in varchar 2, or DBMS will take care of that.
DBMS will automatically take care of it, but so this using varchar to make sure that you optimize the usage. Like you're not going to save, you're going to save the bytes on your physical file where you're getting saved. For example, if I say varchar 2 of 500, okay, and then we have 1 billion records, okay. Instead of, if at all I say varchar of 500, okay, so what is going to happen, I'm occupying 500 bytes for all these billion records, so the volume of the database is going to grow high. So that is why we prefer to use varchar 2 of 500, which means that only the data which is getting saved on that particular column for those many billion records will get saved. So in order to make sure you use the database storage efficiently, generally they prefer to use varchar 2.
Thank you.
All right.
So basically the physical file where it stores that that space will be saved.
Exactly. So physical file, the tables size, okay, the table size on that physical file could be 500 GB, something like that, right? So the table size could get saved, ideally reducing the size of the database. That's right. All right.
So IO operation will be reduced, transferring data from a physical file to our SQL.
That's correct. So that's very right. So in general, we make sure we do not have all this what to say, all this 500. In general, we prefer to have less, because there are few columns which I have worked, like we say varchar 2 of 4000, something like that. So they generally prefer not to use that much, because if at all you're going to use this across billion records, yeah, ideally the performance is going to be hit. So generally they prefer to make sure the best usage, we make sure to use specific data types, and along with that the value with which we are going to be using for that particular table plays a major role. That's right.
So Raju, this is Ram here. One question.
Yeah, go ahead, Ram.
So Raju, I was of the impression that care and varchar. For care, I mean, we have the fixed space for the data that is being entered in care, but for varchar, I thought the space was going to be flexible, and for varchar too, the maximum amount of data that you got entered has increased from varchar. So that was what I was under the impression of. So you mean to say that for varchar 2 as well, there's a fixed, it is going to take a fixed space for the data that we enter, is it?
Varchar 2, I mean, varchar 2 of, see, yeah, that's right. So varchar has a, variable location of say 4000. Okay, 4000 characters is the highest one for varchar. But in specific to varchar 2 also, okay, for this particular varchar 2 also has it's based on the database, I think so, Ram, for 11G or something like that. I think we have a specific what to say, a denotion like 32767. I mean, I think there is some value which is hid there. I'm not pretty sure, might be. Let me check that and get back to you, Ram.
Sure. Thanks.
Yeah, varchar has got a fixed length of 4000. That's right. That's the maximum which you can have.
Yeah. So if I store something less than 4000, I'm not going to have any space added to varchar, right? So that is going to happen only to char data type, right? So char data type only has a space added of the fixed length. So varchar is going to have flexible storage as well, right? As similar to varchar 2 is what my understanding was before. Is what I was.
Okay, let me check that, and I'll get back to you. Yep, let me do that.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. Uh, all right. Yep. To answer Manan's question, yep. I'll give you a good brief of each of this maximum length which we can get saved. Yeah. Let me get back to you. All right. Anybody tried connecting the HR schema? So yep, I was able to connect to the HR schema as well. I think there was a specific property to, what to say, to unlock the schema, I think so. Might be, can you try once? Might be. I think there was an instruction on the document which was shared. Yeah, might be. Yeah, give it a check. Okay, fine. All right, so next, let's see some topics about the alter commands, like alter table customer. So I'm going to add one a new column to it, say for example phone number. I'm going to get them added. Okay, so I'm going to add a new column to it. So it says table now altered. So alter is again a DDL command, so automatically it gets added. So to all those records which was already there, we do not have any data populated, so it automatically puts in null for each of this records. Okay, so I don't want, I say that number, it's not a number data type for me, it's a varchar2 data type for, okay, of 15 digits. Okay, just okay. So what I'm going to do, alter table customer modify, which means that it modifies the data type of this particular column. Okay, now when I say select star from customer, you will know. Okay, so let's say describe customer will give you the DDL, or it will tell you what are all the columns, what are all the data types for each of this particular table. So as you see, customer name, as you see, phone number has changed from number to varchar. Okay, so varchar 2 of 15 is what I changed. Okay, now there is a need that I don't want this okay, so I don't want this column at all. I think top column. So it says the table is altered, Now when I say select star from customer, I will not see that particular record at all. Okay, this is how we do the alter commands. Okay, so this is what you do, the alter commands, customer modification, and all those stuffs. Okay, so let's see a couple of more. Okay, so alter table rename command. Okay, table rename. Customer alter, that's a rename, alter table rename. I forgot the syntax. I never, we generally don't rename all this. Wait,
It's
let
just
me,
rename,
okay,
Raju.
alter
It's
table,
just
okay,
rename.
okay. Alter table rename, customer, I mean, I am working on Hive, so it becomes easy for me. Okay, so it is from, okay. Is it not the table, is it
Just you
not
can no, no, you can just rename the, instead of alter table, just
okay,
give rename. Maybe.
okay, okay, rename table, okay, alter,
No,
oh,
no,
is it, this is how we do,
just rename,
okay,
rename table,
okay.
old name, new name. That's it.
All right. Okay. Is there a no? I mean, I think there is a way to do. Okay. Let me check. Okay. Fine. Alter table. Okay. Rename table. Okay. Rename is alter table rename. Okay. Fine. Got it. So rename table to table name. We can do. So like say if I say customer underscore DW. Okay. So we have got it renamed. Okay. DDL command. Okay. Drop table. Okay. Which means that I am dropping the table. Okay. So customer underscore DW, which means that I'm dropping the entire table along with the contents. Okay, that is the drop table command. Okay, okay. There is one more command as well in DDL. Okay, there is something called truncate table. Okay, truncate table name, which means that truncate with remove all the records from this table immediately. Okay, truncate is nothing but it removes all the records from the table immediately. Okay, so what will happen, it is a DDL command. So what will happen, it will not wait for you to commit. Okay, you cannot wait for your data to get committed. It will just remove it off and then it will commit automatically. So you cannot get your data back when if you're going to do a truncate table command. Okay, but let me use this at the last. Okay, so let's do a couple of more what to say, DML commands. Okay, let's try to understand few DML commands. Let's try to do update. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to update the customer table. I'm gonna modify the location. Let's see what is there in customer DW. Okay, so I'm going to update the location of my Raju. Okay, so what I'm going to do, update customer, set location equal to Madurai, where, okay, where, okay, okay, let me give you few basic things about where. Okay, so if at all you guys need to select a particular record, so select, see here, as we did, select start from customer DW, selected all the records. If I need to select only one record, or you know what is the record which you had to pick from. Okay, you know, I am trying to understand only the information about Raju, so I know which particular column I should be querying on. Okay, because I need only information about Raju. So there is a concept called where will do a filter on that particular column. Okay, what column I am going to filter, I am going to filter based on customer name. Okay, equal to Raju. So what will happen, I am filtering only the record called Raju, so only one record comes. Okay, so you can do this kind of filter by using a where clause. They call it as where clause. Okay, so now what I'm going to, okay, where clause can also have multiple values, like where clause in Raju comma Tanu, which means that I can filter two records also. Okay, it is you can do multiple records on the same in clause. Okay, this keeps extend. Okay, this particular value, or to say this particular select clause can keep extending. I mean, there are multiple ways we can write this particular customer name, where you can do lots of things. Okay, so this is just for the basics. You can know that where clause is used to filter or control the amount of data which you're going to retrieve from the database. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to update only one record whose customer name is Raju. Okay, so it says one record is updated. Okay, when I do, because it's a DML command, I will have to do a commit. So that's a button which can help you directly commit rather than writing it. You can just say commit. So now if I say, if you see the particular record, it gets updated to Madurai. Okay, so this is a basic update command. Okay, I don't want this Raju at all from my customer table. Delete from customer where customer name equal to Raju. One row deleted. I'm doing a commit. So when I do this, I would see only Tanu. This record will not be there on my customer table. Only Ram Tanu will be there. Okay, so now this is about delete. Okay, so delete is a DML command which we can roll back. Okay, okay, so we can do a rollback on all this DML commands, like the update, delete can be rolled back. Okay, so so when I say delete from the table where customer name equal to Raju, I did a commit. Okay, so what happened was it automatically deleted. Okay, before I have to do a commit, it would have been on the redo log file. Okay, so what is happening, it is sitting on some file for me. For if at all I'm giving a rollback command, it will not get committed to the database. Okay, so it is still intact. Okay, so only when I do a commit on the delete, it will get affected. But if I'm doing a truncate table command directly, so what will happen is it will just like that remove all the records from that particular table. I didn't do any commit, but the entire table got wiped off. So in general, they preferably tell you not to use the truncate table command any point in time. So please use this with caution is what they will say. Okay, what is a drop table command? Okay, drop table will remove the entire table from my screen, which means that I will not have this customer table now. That's it. There is no table like customer underscore DW here. It will say the table of you does not exist, which means that everything got wiped, and then I'm now back to the first stage. Okay, so now if at all I need to create anything, I would need to create and then come back again. All right, all right.
Raju,
Go ahead, John.
can I understand this truncate is a DML command? Because
It's a
it's not
DDL
a,
command.
it is a?
It's a DDL command only.
But it is not impacting my
Okay.
structure.
Okay, that's, I mean, I would say, okay, I meant to say that it doesn't auto commit. Okay, truncate is again a DML with an auto commit. That's it.
Okay, okay. That's one. And another thing is that, Raju, when you do a select star from the customer and the output you are getting into a grid format, what is the setting change you did it for that? I'm not getting into the grid format.
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay, so are you using this run? Okay, are you using F5 or something like that?
I'm using the green arrow.
Okay, is it? Okay. I didn't see any problem. Okay, might be those SQL plus users, I mean SQL developer users can comment on that, because it's actually, I don't use SQL developer. Try F9 once, control F9.
Okay.
Okay, let me just.
Whether he selected that green arrow or next to green arrow, because next to green arrow will give you that HTML format.
Oh, no. I selected the green arrow.
Okay.
Wait, let me just create again. So, okay, so select star from customer. is it? Okay, just select this and press Control Enter.
Control A, enter.
Control Enter. Still, it is the same way.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay. Let me. I don't have much idea on SQL Developer. John, might be.
Yeah.
I'll check that and get back to you.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, so I would take a pass here. Might be. What you guys? Can you guys give it a try on creating these tables? Might be. What for those the Mac users might be. Can you try what we can do here is to make it things more simple. I'll just pass on some DDLs and insert commands might be so that it becomes easy for you to just try it out. Would that be fine, or what do you say, guys? So let's say I'll just send this for you
Yeah.
so that just for the easy
Also, one
understand.
small query
Mhm.
while here. So, can you put some lights on the decimal alone, which we have while creating 2,1,
Okay,
the precision point, and can you come that one?
sure. So decimal of p comma s would be the syntax. Okay, precision comma scale. Okay, precision, this particular precision tells you the total length of that particular value which you can save. Okay, okay, say for example, if I say decimal of (28, 10), just for example. Okay, just for the easy sake of understanding, I'm just saying 28, 10, which means that, okay, one dot okay, so the total length which you can have for this particular uh, decimal is 28 digits. Okay, you can save 28 digits on this particular decimal 28. Out of that, you can save 10 after the dot or after the decimal point. So ideally speaking, okay, let me put it on notepad. Okay, so it's okay, so 28 would be the number here. After the decimal, you can save 10. You can save 10 decimal places with this. That's what it is trying to say.
Raju, can we have the
Thank
dot
you,
also in
Raju.
count?
Oh, I don't think so. 20, you can preserve 28 comma 10 is what 28 comma 10 wheels. It takes 28 digits only, I think so. I'm not sure
So
if
dot
this
will
will
not,
count this
the
dot also.
dot will not be
I,
counted.
yeah, that's right. I don't think so. It will get counted.
Okay.
This is the 28. I mean, so in general, this is how it will work of precision comma 10. Okay, so this is the 28 is the entire length, and 10 it can save after the decimal point.
Thanks, Raju.
Okay.
Raju, Harish here. I have one doubt. Raju.
Go ahead, Harish.
Raju, like if we do comment like drop the table, again is it possible to retrieve back the data?
No.
Okay, okay. For that only like we are using DML commands, right?
Yes, yes, that's right.
Okay, okay, fine. Thanks.
Right, might be. Go ahead, John.
Sorry, Raju, you continue. It's a different question. You continue.
No, I was trying to say like, should I give you guys all this? Might be, shall I share you this entire file itself? Might be so that it becomes easy for you.
Sure, sure.
I'll just share this file. Might be so you guys. There are lots which I have written for my easy understanding. Might be you guys can check and then try to execute.
Raju, if we want to comment out few lines, what's the syntax for that one?
Hyphen.
Or you can put a controls // it will automatically comment.
Okay, thank you.
I just used hyphen for single line command. Yeah.
Rajiv, probably we can go to the other SQL developer screen.
Okay.
The other users, we have an HR user.
Okay. These are all the schemas which I was telling John.
Yeah.
Okay. So HR is a schema which you created. Sys is a schema. These
Yeah.
are logical things. Okay.
Okay. Under the HR, there are a bunch of tables are already created and populated. Is that my understanding is correct? Employees, jobs, and all.
Yes, that's right. Yep. So
Is it? Yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No
So
problem.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Is there any way I can just access those tables and play around with that?
Yep, very well. So select star from HR dot countries. Let's see if they have given access. That's it. Table. This is what I was telling. So to access this particular thing, they would have given you the grant and the revoke access. So to easily access schema dot the table name.
Okay.
Okay, that this is the way we can access. That's what I was telling you when I was explaining this. Like you remember for the people who have got a sales table, HR table, who does not have access to the sales table, if they give the grant access, what they will do, they can say select star from HR dot fact. I'm sorry, sales dot fact table. That is how they can easily query it out. That's what I was saying that day.
Okay.
So you can access all these tables from your local from this admin user itself to access the HR specific schema, or if at all you want, you can log in into this user as HR. I'm not sure of the password. Might be check. I'll check that. See. Uh, let's see. Okay, pass. Okay. Let's see. HR.
As per the document, the password is will #123, Raju.
Okay, I just changed the password now. Let me see if it works. Okay, so I'm gonna create a new connection. Okay, so I'm gonna give the connection name. So username is HR, password name is HR. So I'm able to now log into HR. So I can see all the tables myself directly.
So what you have done is that you created a new connection.
I created a new connection. Yeah, I created a new connection. I used this particular. So I edited the user for my easy understanding, saying that this is the password, this is the username. Okay, so I username is HR for you, the password I edited it. So now I see all these tables directly for me. I don't have to access it from the local. Instead, I can access directly. So select star from countries would give me.
Okay.
So whenever we want to access the table directly, we have to make new connection with that particular table, right?
Yes.
Schema, right?
Yeah. If at all you are in general, what they will make sure is in the enterprise thing, they will make sure they have the access not available for you, and for any updates or inserts, they will make sure only you have the select privileges granted, because you cannot just go to the other schema and then just like that log in and then delete some data, right? So generally they will avoid you to give direct access to the schema, but as this is our local host and our playground, we are able to do this.
Okay.
All right. I think people are able. I mean, just check it out on the alter user HR unlock. Okay, so I think that was there on the tab on the what is what
Yeah, that
that
was the
was.
given on the document which was given
Yeah,
by
might be.
Prakash.
Yeah, give just try it out. Might be. Just let me know if you guys still see any problem in connecting.
Alter user HR
Unlock.
Account unlock.
Oh, is it okay? Okay, fine. Any questions from anyone? Might be I'll just share this for you guys. Just to just have a look at this, might be, so that you guys can get some hands-on top of this. Tomorrow when we come back, we will do some more hands-on. I mean, might be how do you guys think to have this hands-on? Is it okay if I can share my screen and then then do things, and then end of the day you guys go back and do it, or you want me to wait for you guys to try it out on your screen parallelly when I'm doing?
We can do offline, Raju. And can you help us configuring this cloud part?
Okay, cool. So to all those Windows users who have got the cloud instance, okay, let me just disconnect, or let me just delete this connection. Okay, so all that I have here is what Irfan has done here is he has created a AWS instance and he's hosted a Oracle server running there. Okay, we are all clients who are connecting to this Oracle database. Okay, so what he has done here is he is asking us to use a JDBC connectivity directly rather than using the SQL basic connectivity. Let's use JDBC to connect to this Oracle drive database. Okay, so all that I need is you for those who are Mac users might be very well go through this, and then as Balaji did, you guys can do all those stuffs, and then you can come. I mean, you get into this particular path. Okay, into this SQL workbench thing. Okay, for all the Windows users who have not installed your local DBs, okay, get into this. Just copy this URL for you. That's it. You're done. Go to this Oracle connections, create a new connection, and then create a new name, say cloud. Okay, this I used when I was using a basic connection. Okay, when I say basic connection, everything I knew, host, port, everything was available for me. Now, as this is sitting on some other cloud environment, use advanced. Okay, click on advanced on the custom JDBC URL. Just paste that URL. Okay, that's it. Go here, take the username, go back to WhatsApp, get the password. Paste it, give a test. That's it. You're connected to the Oracle cloud. Give connect. Let me save the password. Let me save this connection. Connect. I'm now connected to the cloud environment.
Raju, can you show me once again, please?
Okay, let me come back. Okay, so what it's taking time for me. Okay, so what I did was I entered the username and password which I shared, OraDB and OraDB #123. In the connection type, I went from advanced. I used advanced. Okay, and then I pasted the JDBC URL which was given. Okay, let me just pass this for you on the WhatsApp also. Okay, so that's it. Username, password, and then save the test the connection. It automatically works. Okay. Wait, I'll answer your question, Amaydin. Okay, so um, all right. So now I just say connect, and then it gets connected. So now, if at all there's a table which is created already. If at all you want to create a new table, yeah, you can very well create the new table. What I would say here is create some tables. If at all you guys are going to create some tables, make sure you use some naming conventions like uh, some batch name or something like that to make sure your table is visible, because I think most probably many people are going to create the same table. So make sure you have some naming conventions like initials or something like that. Okay, so when it's yep, that's it.
So if we create a table in cloud, is it visible to everyone, or else it will be visible to only to the user
No,
who created it?
it would be like, as we are going to connect through the same username password, it should be visible to everyone. You should, if at all you John is going to create something, John underscore customer, if I do a refresh, it will be available here.
Okay, so it's a common for everyone.
It's a common for everyone.
Okay, so if it is in
Because we are
local,
not going to, yeah, sorry.
if it is in local, it will be visible to only for the user, right?
Yes, it is going to, the database is going to sit on my local machine. That's why it is limited to only me. But here the database is sitting on a public cloud so that everyone is able to see that.
Okay, okay. Thanks, Raju.
Okay, so could you please explain why we need cloud in real time? Okay, is it with respect to this particular example? I mean, as people are having problems with connecting to Oracle instance, we tried using a cloud to make sure we ease out the problem of having an installation done on your local machine. That's the main idea of having them have them a cloud instance, Maidin. In the real time, so in the real time, people are just moving to the cloud space where all your data, instead of having them saved on your on-prem database, like preserving, I mean, you don't have to invest on your servers, right? So you don't have to buy Oracle servers for your, and then you will have to do maintenance on patching and all those stuffs, which can come easily when you're going to a cloud. So the cloud provider is going to handle all those. And with respect to cloud, you are going to have lots and lots of features, like you can have what to say. mm, you can have replications which can be done without any downtime. The patching can be taken care, all those. There are lots of advantages which comes through cloud. And then data restriction can be done. Say for example, uh, if at all, in India, if there is a rule saying that the data of the Indian customers should not go outside India, okay, so you can have cloud specific servers installed only on Indian or geography, and then you can have them saved there. So there are lots and lots which you can get with the cloud in the real time. So but for the sake, I mean, for now, to make sure you guys do not have feel the pain of having this installation done, that's why we have this particular cloud instance created for you. All right. All right. So
Raju, can you tell the password again for the cloud instance?
I think it is capital ORADB #123. It's on the WhatsApp. Okay. ORADB. Okay. Let me put it down here as well. Chat. Okay. So. Okay. This is the password. I'm sorry, wait, I sent us a, okay, so this is the password, Ram.
Thanks, Raju.
All right. Cool. Might be we can, what to say, we can what pass for today. Maybe tomorrow morning once we come back. There was a request from someone to have wait for some time. Okay, I'll wait. Jnana will might be I'll wait for some time so that you can do the initial commands. Might be I'll give some time so that you guys can also give it a try parallelly with me. Yep, we can do that as well. Yeah. So in the meantime, I'll just forward you guys the PPT which I had for today. Might be on the notepad file which has all the queries, so that you guys can give it a try at your end as well, so that you guys can have some hands-on on top of that, right?
Raju, just want to ask you, like, are there any SQL editors in cloud?
Are
Like,
there Okay, so when you say editors in cloud, to access the cloud data directly from the cloud or something like that?
now we have created an instance in cloud, right? So we are connecting to that server through SQL developer. So without coming to SQL developer, is there any other way we can access that server in AWS itself
Without
by writing
using
the
SQL.
queries?
Okay. One way which we can do is using SQL plus you can connect, or Because you should, ideally speaking, you should have a client to access the database. Only the client is my thing. Or you should have a cloud instance by yourself, where you have your client installed on your cloud, and then you can use that. But let me check the option. Is there a problem installing for you the SQL developer? Is that is there a problem with that? Is that the reason you're asking me?
Not that. Just want to make sure whether we can use or not.
But let me. I'll check that. Sai might be. Because if at all you had to do something like that, you will have to log in into another machine to access. Instead of having them on your local, you should have some server. On that server, you should have the SQL client installed. From there, you can connect to the database. That's the only way which I can think of for now. But let me see if you can understand, right? So you will have to have one more box. On that you will have to log in and then get them connected. That's the only way which you can do. But you should have some client installed to access the database. That's really needed.
Okay.
Raju, Harish here, we have seen the example of data type of decimal. For the type decimal, we can view integer like typecasting. I'm saying, like for decimal.
Yeah, you can give one comma one, so it will just state 1.000 something like that. Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
To answer, okay, username for cloud connection, please. Okay, wait, let me go over each of these. Is there a reason we use SQL queries, not Oracle queries? All these are what to say? All these are queries to access the Oracle database. So these are SQL queries only. So right. So Raju, can you please help here? Table of view does not exist. Okay. So okay, which table are you trying to access, Priyanka? Okay, might be you. I'll just give you the create table command along with this. Might be so you can give it a try and then as well. I'll pass on this for you so that with that it becomes easy for you, Priyanka.
Raja, I'm trying to make a new connection with that cloud. I just gave cloud as the username and connection name. While giving test, it shows a failure message.